Hello bass players, my name is Alex, this is Step by Step Music. Welcome to my studio. Today's bass lesson is on basic right hand technique. Basic right hand technique is crucial to your tone and delivering a consistent and beautiful sound. It's where everything flows from. That's how you get your strings to move. That's what we're looking at today. Go on, go get your bass, get tuned up, meet me back here and we'll get started, okay? So, hope you have your bass, hope you're tuned up and ready to go. Before we actually get to playing, I do want to go over some things and make sure that we're all on the same page. First off, I want to say that in the bass world, low and high are opposite. So your lowest string is actually the one that is highest up in the air. In music, we don't care so much about gravity as we do care about low notes and high notes, right? So the thicker string makes the lower notes. So we're going to call this our our low string. It's the one that's higher up in the air. Okay, but we're going to call that our low string. Okay, the thinnest string, the one that's closest to the ground, we're going to call that our high string. Okay, so this is low or moving down. This is high or moving up. Something else I need to go over is string names. In case you don't know your string names, from low to high, they are E, A, D, and G. Okay, if you don't know those already, I want you to know those. E, A, D, and G from low to high. Those, in case you're curious, are named after the notes that they play. Finger numbers. If you are from the piano world or the keyboard world or have any experience there, you know that you have 5 fingers on each hand. That is no longer true if you are playing bass or guitar or really any stringed instrument. We know, as bass players, that the thumb is not a finger. Okay, so in piano you might have called them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Forget all that until you're back at a piano. Now this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So index is 1, pinky is 4, and you can figure out the ones in the middle. Again, we're on the right hand today, so when I'm talking about the first finger, I'll be talking about the index finger. Some texts will call this I for index, M for middle. I just use the traditional finger numbers that we use in the left hand, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. One of the first questions that my beginning bass students typically have is, where do I put my thumb? And the typical answer to that they come up with on their own is you rest it on the pickup. And they say, is this okay? And my answer to you is, yes, that's okay. That's just fine. In fact, that's very traditional. Very commonly done. You're probably going to want to rest your thumb somewhere. I like if you rest your thumb somewhere. It keeps you grounded with the instrument. So I think the pickup, if it's in a good location, is a great place to rest that thumb. We're going to play more towards the neck side today. So you have a choice as a player to play more towards the bridge, which is down here, or more towards the neck, which is up here. You can play anywhere along there that feels good and or sounds good. You will notice a difference in feel and a difference in sound. As you come down to the bridge, it's much more difficult to actually pull the string. There's a lot more tension down here than there is in the middle of the string. It's a lot easier to pull on that part. That's why I want you to play more towards the neck when you get started, because it's just physically much easier for you, and why make things hard, right? As we prepare for our first exercise here, let's go ahead and get comfortable just pulling this string. So the idea is that you pull and release. It's as simple as that. Go ahead and try that with me. E string, pull, and release. Now, I don't want you to pull away from the bass this way. I want you to pull towards the bass this way, okay? Sort of a this motion, not a this motion. More pushing down into the bass, less pulling up and away from it. If you're not digging in and giving it a nice big boomy bass tone, chances are you're not getting the tone that you're really wanting. As you play the A string, you can leave your thumb where it was, wherever that was on the pickup, or just floating, or you can go ahead and pluck that right down on the E string now. So I'm going to play the A string. As I play the A string, I want to make sure that I'm slamming my finger into the E string, okay? That's a great way to make sure that you're going to get great tone. If we don't land on the string below, on the next lower string or the next thicker string, we're going to tend to not have as good tone. We're going to tend to be pulling more up this way, okay? So when I play my A string, my finger rests on the E string. As I play my D string, my finger rests there on the A string. When I play the G, the finger rests there on the D. let's go on and let's do the next string here. Now at this point, I really want you resting your thumb on the E string. Okay, so as you play the D string, I don't want you still back here on the pickup. See that reach? I'm getting too much of a reach in there. Okay, at this point, I want you dropping down to the E string. Rest your thumb on that. Okay, and go ahead and pull that D string. Good. And let's pull that G string as well. No jokes, please. There we go. Pulling the G. All right. One of the most helpful things that I've noticed that I can say to my students is sound like a bass player. I'm not there with you. You're not here in my studio. So after this lesson is over, I want you to just remember, sound like a bass player. When I say that, typically I get a much fatter, more well-delivered tone from the right hand. Remember. Sound like a bass player. So here's our first exercise. We're going to call this the one finger exercise because I'm very clever that way. We're going to play 8 notes on the E string, quarter notes. So right about there. Okay, I'm going to get some drums for us in a second. We're going to play 8 notes on the A string, 8 notes on the D, 8 notes on the G. Okay, just the one finger this time. We're going to focus on having great tone, digging in, getting a nice solid note. Sound like a bass player, okay? And we're going to focus on moving that thumb. Now remember, by the time you get to that D string, I want that thumb moved to the E string, okay? We're going to hear 4 clicks, and then we're in. Here we go. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. A string, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thumb rest. Thumb moves down to the E string there. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're out. So you can review that back. You can play along with me as many times as you want. You can set up your own drum beat. You can use a click, a metronome. You can turn the click off if you need to ease your way into it, but you should be able to do that with a click. Remember that you're the master of your own practice. This is very important. So I can't tell you what's best for you to practice. I can't tell you exactly what tempo you need to be at. You need to decide that. I can give you some tools to get you started, and then it's your job to decide what's best for you. So if this is difficult for you, take off the drums, take off the click. No drums, no click. Practice the basic movements. If it's too easy for you, maybe you want to increase the tempo, or just go on to the next exercise. Exercise 2, 2-finger technique. I want you playing with at least 2 fingers, okay? These 2 fingers, not like these 2 fingers, that would be weird. I want you playing with at least 2 fingers. This is mandatory. At the beginning, I want you alternating pretty much every time. And there's reasons why we would not do that, but we'll get into that in future lessons. Basically, I want you always alternating for now to get used to using 2 fingers. I don't want you favoring one finger over the other. We're going to play the same exercise again, only playing 8th notes, so twice as fast. We will play for same number of bars, so 2 bars each, just alternating. Finger 1, finger 2, finger 1, finger 2, finger 1, finger 2. Same exercise, moving strings in the same direction. 8 hits on E, 8 hits on A, 8 hits on D, 8 hits on G. Same thing with the thumb. We're going to move that thumb. Here we go. 2 fingers. Count in. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Change. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, and 2 and 3 and 4. And D string. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3. Here we go to the G. 2. Look at that, I moved my thumb again. Yeah, you can do that. Out. There we are. Okay, 2-finger technique. Again, slow it down. Do it right. Don't rush through it. Don't do it fast and wrong. Do it slow and right. 3 fingers. I do not mandate that you play with 3 fingers. I do highly encourage that if you choose to play with 3 fingers, you do so now, or within, say, your first month or so of playing. I'd been playing probably over a year with 2 fingers before I decided, you know what, it'd be really cool to be able to play with 3 fingers on the right hand. And guess what? I couldn't do it. I'd be in my little band practice in my garage band, right? And I'm playing and I'm playing and I'm playing. And I go, I'm gonna play with my third finger. I'm gonna play with my third finger. And I hit a note with my third finger and the bass line would stop. So I was eventually able to obviously overcome that, but it took a lot of mental effort. If you wanna play with three fingers someday, pretty much start now. So for today, we are going to alternate in the pattern 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay? Same speed as before, same eighth notes. Okay? Let's do 2 bars again. So 8 notes and 8 notes, and then we'll change strings. Or 4 beats and 4 beats, and then we'll change strings. You keeping up with this? Good. Okay. Here we go. 4 counts in, alternating. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Change. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Change. Ooh, look at that. Thumb moved. Did your thumb move? I hope your thumb moved. It was supposed to move. Are you keep paying attention? Oh, look at that. We changed again. I was talking too much. Last bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're out. Hopefully by now you have a pretty good idea of some places you can rest your thumb. You have an idea of where you want to be playing and where you might choose to play in the future on the string, whether bridge side or neck side. You've got 3 exercises now, okay? 1 focused on just digging in with that first finger, getting that sounding nice and sweet and awesome and sounding like a bass player. You've got the 2-finger exercise where you're alternating 1, 2, 1. I can do 1, 2, 1, 2. I can't count and move at the same time. And you've got the 3-finger exercise. You're the master of your own practice. No one's gonna play bass for you. You gotta play bass for yourself. And you gotta decide what's good for you. Thank you so much for attending this lesson. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button down below. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to see more of you, and hopefully you found this lesson helpful. Go do your practices, all right? Take it easy. And stop. Thank you. Stop. I said stop. There we go. Okay, let's actually do what I said we're gonna do. Can you hear that clock ticking? I can hear the clock ticking.